yours. Welcome to City Hall Chamber. I want to acknowledge the President of City Council President, Donna Reed. Thank you for your presence, along with other members of the Police Department and the Moran administration. We're here today to acknowledge the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, Gun Violence Investigation and Prosecution Grant, which is something that we are grateful for. I'm going to allow the Chief to share what that grant entails, and then I would follow up with some additional comments.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We're here today to update our community on the Reading Police Department's response to gun violence in our city, and we're also pleased to announce initiatives being funded through a grant awarded by the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency to directly combat gun violence in our neighborhoods. Gun violence in our community destroys lives and families. It causes fear in our neighborhoods and subjects our residents to unnecessary trauma. The Reading Police Department recognizes the effects that violence has on our community and has always endeavored to take action to prevent it. This is a problem we cannot solve alone, and our officers and investigators have been continuously and successfully working with other law enforcement agencies to disrupt acts of violence and community partners to address the causes of violence in our neighborhoods. In January of this year, the Reading Police Department was awarded a grant in the amount of $668,768 from the PCCD's Gun Violence Investigation and Prosecution Grant. This grant provided funding for the police department to develop and field a neighborhood gun violence unit and provide investigative support for firearms-related crimes and firearms trafficking investigations. This grant funding will be used to support those initiatives in 2023 and 2024. The Neighborhood Gun Violence Unit is a patrol-based unit that is tasked with conducting targeted enforcement activity related to firearms crimes in neighborhoods that have been affected by gun violence. This unit works hand in hand with our investigators who have been developing intelligence on where and when these incidents are occurring, and most importantly, identifying those individuals who are terrorizing our community through acts of violence. The Neighborhood Gun Violence Unit has been operating since February 9th of this year, conducting numerous operations in several of our neighborhoods. As of the end of April, this unit has made 27 arrests, including 16 felony, 4 misdemeanor, and 2 summary arrests, in addition to serving 5 arrest warrants. The unit has also seized 8 illegal firearms during their operations and will continue those operations on a regular basis to disrupt acts of violence and arrest the individuals involved. The PCCD grant has also provided funding for the police department to continue its large-scale, multi-agency Operation Ceasefire details. These details have been conducted since 2021 and have proven to be successful in addressing gun violence through engagement with our partner law enforcement agencies. These details are supported by the Berks County District Attorney's Office, the Berks County Detectives Drug and Gang Task Forces, Berks County Adult and Juvenile Probation, the Berks County Sheriff's Department, the Pennsylvania State Police, and members of the FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals, and Homeland Security Investigations Task Forces. On April 27th of this year, the Reading Police Department and assisting agencies conducted an Operation Ceasefire detail targeting known violent offenders and locations associated with gun violence. During that single-day operation, 15 arrests were made, removing several violent offenders from our streets. Additional Operation Ceasefire details supported by this grant are currently being developed to prevent further acts of violence. The response to gun violence is the highest priority of the Reading Police Department, and all of our personnel, divisions, and units are engaged in those activities. Our personnel understand the importance of maintaining public safety and work 24/7 in an effort to achieve that goal. With that in mind, I wanted to take a moment to highlight an example of how our personnel are responding to address gun violence. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on April 18th, patrol officers were dispatched to a report of a person with a gun in the area of 4th and Robinson Streets. During the initial response to the call, patrol officers took 2 individuals in custody who illegally possessed firearms. Patrol officers in criminal investigations conducted a follow-up investigation, which resulted in serving a search warrant at 1059 North 4th Street. As a result of the professional response and thorough investigation into that incident, our officers and investigators recovered 8 firearms, 2 of which were reported stolen, and arrested 4 individuals, none of whom could legally possess a firearm. This incident is not an exception. It is how our personnel respond every day and work courageously and professionally to keep all members of our community safe. As a department, we review crime statistics to determine if our efforts are providing the results we seek to achieve. From January 2023 through the end of April, we have investigated 3 homicides in the city, compared to 9 during the same time period in 2022, which is a 60% decrease. We have also experienced the same success in reducing non-fatal shootings during the same period from 26 in 2022 to 8 in 2023, a 69% decrease. These statistics point to the success of our efforts to reduce gun violence in the city of Reading. However, our work is not done. We need to maintain the same volume and intensity of violence reduction operations, which include intelligence development, targeted deployments, relentless follow-up investigations, collaborations with partner law enforcement agencies, and community engagement. The funding provided by this PCC grant will enable us to do just that. I want to thank the PCCD for providing us this much-needed grant, our partner law enforcement agencies that continue to lend support to our department, the community members and organizations who are involved in violence prevention initiatives, and the men and women of the Reading Police Department for their dedication to serving our community with integrity and professionalism. And finally, I want to thank Mayor Moran and his entire administration for their commitment and unwavering support of our department and personnel as we work to achieve his goal of having safe streets and neighborhoods throughout the city of Reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. When I got elected 3 years ago, I created 4 foundational pillars in which I said it would be a guiding principle for our administration. One of those foundational pillars was safe streets and safe neighborhoods, something I have continued to look at and make sure that is a priority on a day-to-day basis from the beginning of my administration. I have not stopped making sure that that commitment remained the same. I have gone after every possible grant opportunity to make sure that men and women of the police department have all the tools necessary to combat crime. Crime, not only in gun violence, but crime as a general is not welcome in the city of Reading. It is something that unfortunately is happening nationwide, and there has been somewhat a spike in some places after a pandemic. Thank God, though, here in the city of Reading, it has not been the case. Although we're not immune to it, which we all have some challenges, but when it comes to overall, as you saw some stats mentioned a few minutes ago, overall, crime in the city of Reading is at its lowest in the last 15 years and more, to say the least. And that is a true fact, folks. We take honor in making sure that our city is safe. Is there still work to be done? Absolutely. And that's why I promise that I will continue to go after every grant and funding possibilities available, whether it's within the local level, county, state, and federal, to make sure that our streets are safe. However, we also have to do our part. We cannot just ask police to keep our streets safe. We have to do our part, as I have said repeatedly, time after time. It takes a village to raise a child. And we need to bring that village together once again to continue to raise our children. Because if we don't, we all have to take blame for it. We have to continue to remind our youth that they are valued, that they are important, that there's a better way than gun violence, that there's a better way than picking up your fist. There's a thing called talking. There's a thing of saying, let's dialogue. I would also continue to go after grant opportunity that is available for other organizations that assist with gun violence, with crime as a general, with the root causes of poverty. We all have to come together. We're going to continue to reach out to our faith-based organization, to our school district, and our parents overall to make sure that our streets are safe. That is a commitment that I have remained committed to, and I will continue to be committed to. I grew up in a neighborhood not much different than Reading in Brooklyn, New York. And what I saw growing up back in the 80s to the way that neighborhood is today is unrecognizable, because they've gone a long way. in combating crime. But they did it by creating opportunities and creating a sense of neighborhood that everyone was proud of. So I'm going to, again, make another call to our community that although we are here today announcing a great grant that is going to assist in gun violence and prosecution, that we do our part, that we come together and we continue to be that village that we all can be. Thank you for your time, and God bless you. I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Ruiz to join me and share a few words in Spanish. Estamos aquí anunciando un fondo que hemos recibido de casi $700,000 para asistir en lo que es el combate contra la violencia y el combate contra los revólveres. Yo hice una promesa que la seguridad de nuestra comunidad iba a ser una prioridad para esta administración. Y cada día yo me levanto pensando en esa promesa, asegurando que nosotros busquemos los fondos necesarios y los recursos que necesitamos para mejorar el ambiente de nuestra comunidad, para asegurar que nuestra comunidad está fuera de crimen. Crimen de ninguna situación es aceptada aquí. No hay sitio para crimen o violencia en nuestra comunidad. Desafortunadamente es algo que está pasando nacionalmente y nosotros no somos únicos. Pero, gracias a Dios, estamos en el nivel más bajo de crimen en esta ciudad de Reading en este año que en los últimos 15 años. Mi promesa es que voy a seguir buscando los recursos necesarios, sean al nivel local, estatal o federal, para asegurar que nuestras calles, nuestra comunidad, nuestra gente, nuestra juventud está afuera de peligro. Gracias y Dios me los bendiga. Le voy a pedir al Deputy Chief que diga una palabra. You could talk a little bit about the grant itself. Just briefly.
Okay. So,
En español.
el Estado nos ha dado mucho dinero para asistir a los guardias en la calle. Para asistir a los guardias que tenemos en nuestra calle, que están trabajando día tras día, eliminando poco a poco el crimen que está sucediendo, toda la criminalidad que está sucediendo en la ciudad de Reading. Con todo eso hemos podido bajar la criminalidad un 68% en los últimos 2 años, que eso es un por ciento bastante elevante. Y eso es todo lo que tengo.
Gracias.
Vamos a seguir continuando haciendo nuestro trabajo y vamos a hacer la calle más segura para la gente. Gracias.
Gracias. Nuevamente quiero darle las gracias al Departamento de Policía, a los hombres y mujeres que hacen este departamento, algo de que yo soy orgulloso. Gracias a los jefes y a los que van a la calle diaria para asegurar que nuestras calles estén protegidas. I just wanted to finish by thanking our police department, not only our brass, our chiefs, our captains and lieutenants, but also the men and women that put on a uniform on a day-to-day basis and go out to keep our streets safe. Thank you kindly. I'm honored, I'm proud to say that we probably have the best police department, not only in the county, but in the Commonwealth. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions?
Just real quick. So you talked about don't be quick to pick up your fists, instead use your words and stuff like that. I just wondered if any of the funding that you're getting is going to go towards specifically youth and addressing the gun violence issues within them, because obviously we know there was recently the incident at the high school.
This one is not right. This grant is not for that.
No, not directly.
Well, this particular grant that we announced today of close to $700,000 is not. However, by the fact that the blessing that I had in collaboration with the city council, which I stated, our city council president currently, Donna Reed, was a supporter of, to make sure that we provided up to $5 million for ARPA funding for not-for-profit organizations, many of them that assist with the prevention of violence, gun violence, and crime as a general with not-for-profit organizations. So although that this particular grant is not geared towards that, we continue committed to make sure that we assist not-for-profit organizations that assist and such. I'll add the fact that last year I started what is called the Mayor's Summer Initiative Program, which had 30 young adults that had an opportunity to find employment here in the city of Reading, as well as be exposed to post-secondary education and be heard or listen to individuals that came and spoke about the importance against crime and violence. Well, this year I'm honored to say that, again, with the assistance of City Council and their support, I was able to get enough funding and as an item to hire 50 young adults for that program. So again, it is a priority to make sure that we get funding and assistance to our youth.
For the chief, is there anything that people can do to help the department in reducing gun violence?
The biggest thing that members of the community can do is to reach out to the police department, be it you see an officer on the street or call into our communications center if you believe that there's some kind of activity taking place in your neighborhood that's related to really any kind of crime, not just gun violence. We're seeing instances in our community where firearms are being stolen from individuals' cars who think that's a good place to secure them. So if that's happening in your neighborhood, those are things we need to know about because we really target our deployments to where the crime problems are. We maintain patrols throughout the entire city, but we focus those patrols on where we see crime occurring. So the more data we have to process in our weekly crime status meetings to understand where crime is occurring, the better. So the best thing you do is pick up the phone, give us a call, and let us know what's going on in your neighborhood.
All right. Well, again, thank you all. May you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll take the opportunity for those that are here and perhaps listening. Today, we have our first Friday for the year, recognizing Cinco de Mayo right here on Penn and 6th and 7th Street from 5 to 9. So I invite the community to come and have a fun, clean time for the whole family. Thank you. Caught you off guard, huh?
Thank you.
Sorry.
Mayor, is this your phone? Mayor.